it's Leila, your edible gardening teacher. Last October, I ran a 3 hours of workshop for teachers with no gardening experience, how to teach your students how to grow food in schools and classrooms. I have cut this 3 hours of workshop into bite-sized video pieces so that busy teachers and educators like yourself can watch on your time and learn. And this is the 5th of these video series. Enjoy! Grass area that you want to turn into a garden bed. This is a very good, it's actually a permaculture technique and it's called sheet mulching. So you can sheet mulch your area in fall, so this is a very good time to do it. As soon as you get leaves falling, it's a perfect time to do this with the kids. You can do it with the kids. It's very inexpensive and it doesn't require any digging, because digging the grass is not easy. Especially the kids cannot do it, so it will be all your task, the adult's task anyway, and it is just not easy. And then when you pull up the turf, you don't know what to do with it. Like, where do I put this? Like, how do I get rid of this? So it can become a huge problem. So this is with no digging. It's very inexpensive and improves your soil. It's a permaculture no tilling soil improvement technique. So what you do is that you cut the grass, or do it when the grass is cut for you, if somebody else cuts the grass, if there's grass, and then leave it there. Like, don't remove the grass, leave it there. You can even add kitchen scraps, veggie kitchen scraps. So bring it from home, tell the kids to bring it, go through it, make sure there's no meat or dairy, no proteins in there, all veggie scraps, and lay the veggie scraps. Like, this would be one of the exciting moments of your kids' lives. Like, my teacher told me to make a mess. Like, they're gonna have so much fun with that. So put all of that there, and then cover it with thick layers of cardboard or newspaper. Where do you get the cardboard? All the stores have them. Go to Shoppers Drug Mart, I don't know, your grocery store, local grocery store, or even the malls. A lot of the clothes and things like that come in big, huge packages of cardboard, and they actually very neatly fold them and put them in the back of the. So you gotta go a little into the dumpster maybe at the back of the store, or go talk to them. Like, I go to my Shoppers Drug Mart and I tell them, they know me now. I'm like, are you here for cardboard? I'm like, do you have some? So they actually put it aside for me. It's to them it's garbage, so they want to get rid of it. Some stores don't give it out. So IKEA, I know that they have very good recycling plans that they don't give it out because it has to go through a specific process. But a lot of the stores just give it out, so you go and get them. Non-glossy, don't use the glossy ones. If there's color on them, that's fine, because there are regulations that make sure that there aren't any harsh or bad chemicals in the color that they use for the print. But the gloss is not a good chemical to have around your garden. So a non-glossy cardboard, as big as you can, and remove the stapler nails, because when the cardboard dissolves into your soil, those nails are dangerous because the kids are going to be doing gardening in there. So remove those, and remove if there's any sticky tapes, remove them. When you're getting your cardboard, make sure that you get the ones that are bigger and they don't have sticky tapes, or it's going to be your work is going to be a lot faster. Anyway, cover all of those garbage with your cardboards. Make sure that you overlay them. And water. So water. Or do it the morning that it had rained a lot last night. Don't cut the grass when when it's wet. So cut the grass and then let it rain and then cover it. And then water it again. Why do you do that? Because, well, you want this is another name for sheet mulching is composting in place. So what you're doing is actually you're creating a composting environment. So water is very important because it's moist, and without moisture, nothing is going to decompose. So that's why you water underneath, and then you put the cardboards and you water on top of your cardboards. Another reason is that if it's windy, believe me, your cardboards are gonna go flying all over the place, and you don't want your kids to be flying after flying newspaper and cardboard. So it can get very, very messy. So be ready with your water. As soon as you lay them down, water it. It makes them heavy and it sticks to the ground.
Excuse me. If you were going to add coffee grounds to it, where would you put it? Would you put it underneath the cup?
Underneath, yes.
Where all the vegetable scraps are?
Yes. Anything that you can put in the compost bin, like the coffee grounds, they can all go under the cardboard. Now, what do you put on top of the cardboard? Leaves. And that's the reason that I am recommending you to do this in fall, because you have free access to lots and lots of leaves. So one year, me and my husband, we actually rented a van, and we went over our neighborhood and we stole everybody's leaves. And then I have a space in the corner of my backyard in my zone 5, zone 5 permaculture. So I store them there and I use them throughout the year, especially in springtime. So they are there for you, and the neighbors will be happy, because the sooner that's gone, the better for them. Like, they don't care who takes it, they want it gone. Which is very unfortunate. We, in the cities, we don't know what resources we have. There's a lot of nutrients in these leaves that we give away.
Let's just say that being careful that there aren't a lot of weeds in there, in the bags, right? Yeah. Because sometimes they'll put weeds in there.
Yes.
The leaves, and then you're going to get all the seeds.
Yeah, there could also be animal waste. So be careful about what you're getting. If you go out there in the peak of leaf, you know, when there's like all the leaves are down, you see that everybody's just getting the leaves out, you will get 99% leaves in there. You will not get a lot of other stuff. Because people usually don't weed at that time, because they're getting ready for winter. So they just cut the grass and they don't bother with the weeds, and they're like, you know what, I'm going to do the weeding when spring comes back. So that's usually, you don't get a lot of weeds, but be careful with animal waste. Plastic, any garbage, be sure that you remove them before you. So if you saw there was lawnmower in the picture there, the reason is that it's better if you run a lawnmower through the leaves and then put them on, because the smaller surface area the leaves have, the less of them is going to blow away with the wind. So mulch them to the smallest that you can. If you don't have access to a lawnmower, don't worry. Just put the leaves on top, just like that. So what happens here is...
Oh, okay. So if we were to add anything else, like anything else to the leaf mulch, what would you add and how would you layer it?
You can go as many layers as you want, and when you do that, they call it lasagna gardening. So what you can actually put many different layers of. I don't know how much you're familiar with composting. In composts, we put brown and green material, right? So this is composting in place. So it's the same idea. You just put them in place and you layer them like this. Just like you layer your green and brown material in your compost, you do the same there. You can put as many layers as you want, actually. But be aware that it's gonna come up. You know, so it's gonna have a height. The more layers you put, the more height you will have. But, and the wind can pick it up faster. If you do it in a raised bed, then you can go from the bottom all the way to the top of the thing and put different layers. And it depends on how much kitchen scraps and green material and weeds and things like that you have that you can put underneath the cardboards. So you can put one layer, cardboarded, water, another layer, cardboarded, water, and as many layers as you want. Be aware that it's going to eventually sink down as it decomposes, but at the beginning it's going to be pretty tall. So you want to look at your space. If it's raised bed, just go all the way to the top of the raised bed. If it's just on the ground and nothing is actually protecting it, then one layer. I wouldn't recommend more than one layer.
Okay.
Because you don't want it to go way high.
So we live close to a horse stable actually, there's one in North York. And they're like, please, like, take the manure and everything.
Is that fresh manure?
Yeah.
Okay. If you have fresh manure, you want to
And said it's mixed
But
with
it's-
straw and, so put it underneath the cardboard.
way underneath, because you want your fresh manure to get decomposed before you actually do any gardening in it. Because it contains a lot of nitrogen and it can actually burn your plants.
Sorry, just one question. I'm having trouble thinking of how the leaves and the layers will stay in place if we put it, like in our school, there's a piece of land, but it's wide open. And there's no fence or any, wall.
You will be surprised. They will stay in
They'll
place.
stay.
Yes.
Okay.
The first time I did it, I was like checking on it every
Yeah.
day. Like I think it was like 5 years ago in my own backyard. I did that, and I'm like, there's no way this much leaf is going to stay here. But you mulch it. The smaller they are, the better they stay, and you water it at the end. And then it's gonna be fall, and it's gonna rain, and it's gonna snow, and it's gonna be icy, and they're just gonna stay. Trust me. Yeah, it looks like that it's gonna fly away, but it won't. But be very generous with the watering your cardboard. Sometimes I even water on both sides of the cardboard, then put it down, and even water a little bit more on top. Yes, the cardboard flies away a lot faster than the leaves. If your cardboard is dry, because it has a huge surface that the wind can pick, yes, the leaves are not the problem. What flies away is the cardboard.
If you have an existing garden, should you be doing this to make the soil rich each year?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, that's an awesome, especially if you do it in fall, and the sooner in fall you do it, you give nature more time to work on it. So the decomposition actually starts to happen in fall, and then it's going to freeze, and when it freezes, it makes the decomposition even faster in spring. So as soon as the sun comes and starts to warm up the soil, it's going to decompose pretty fast. I don't know if anybody has worms, red wigglers or any kinds of worms in your schools or yeah. So they say to give when you want to give the food, the veggies to the worms, it's better if you freeze them.
Yeah.
Because when you freeze them, the fiber and everything else, it gets, I don't know, it breaks down a lot faster when it gets warm and when it's defrost again. So it's the same idea with your sheet mulch over the winter. So when you do it in fall, you give it a little bit of time of the warmth that exists in fall for it to start breaking down, and then the winter is going to freeze it, which makes it a lot faster in spring to decompose. Now, when you do this, obviously the sooner the better, but if you didn't get around to it and it froze right after you did this, well, you give your garden a little bit more time in spring, because you know that not everything is completely decomposed there. So what happens is all of the grass that you left there, and with everything else, because of the cardboard, it's gonna suffocate and turn into nutrients that it's given to your soil, plus everything else that you put on top of it. also is going to turn into very, very rich soil. You'll be surprised how it's going to change.
Do you put soil on top in the spring, or you just don't put anything?
Yes, well, see how much it has to compost, the leaves. You do need a little compost, and in spring it is possible that when you put away the leaves, if you want to, for example, transplant the seed, the cardboard might still be there. Because the cardboard takes a few more seasons to completely dissolve into the soil, and that's totally fine. What you do is that you cut through the cardboard, pull it aside, and you put a little bit of compost and soil there
In the grass?
for the seedling. There's no grass. There's not going to be any grass there. Everything underneath the cardboard is going to be dissolved. What might not be dissolved is the cardboard, which you cut through it, and then you put your seedlings with a little bit of compost to give it a little bit of immediate access to food, and then you plant it. You could cover the whole thing with soil if you have access to soil, or if you have it in your budget. You can do the sheet mulching even in spring, but don't put leaf on top of it. Directly put soil. So if you did it in spring, do the layers at the bottom, do the cardboard, water, don't forget watering, and then put your soil right on top of the cardboard. And you can start with seeds, because the seeds don't have a lot of roots, and the cardboard is not going to be a problem for them, or smaller seedlings. And if you're doing seedlings, you can cut through the cardboard and put soil for that seedling, and then put the seedling there. I hope that you're enjoying and learning from these video series. This was the 5th one, and in total there's 10. Every time that one of these videos are released, I send an email, a notification to all my subscribers. If your email is not in the subscribers list of educators, here's the link. Make sure you put it there. After all these 10 video series are completely released and everybody has them, there's still going to be tons of free material regarding school gardens and teaching edible gardening to your students that I will send to my subscribers. So make sure that you are a subscriber so that you don't miss your chance on any of those free gifts and materials. I'll see you next time.